It's your boy Moo. Now today we're making another video. Today we're react to a video called "Horrors of the Russian Internet." Now, I ain't even gonna lie. I don't know if that was last video or 2 videos ago, whatever you want to call it, but we reacted to horrors, horrors of the Arabic Internet. Now, this video is by Pharaoh McGuire. You know what I'm saying? His video has definitely been on a good run. With my channel. First, let's get into the video. I don't know what to expect, but curiosity.
In the mid-2010s, as internet live streaming was taking the world by storm, a specific genre of this new media form would emerge in the Russian-speaking world: trash streaming. Normally, when watching any content creator on the internet, live streamer or not, you're usually paying attention because you're either interested in what this person has to say, or you're intrigued by something they're doing. Maybe you're watching a guy who's really good at GeoGuessr, or you're watching somebody travel through every corner of Africa. Regardless, the relationships you have with the creators you follow on the internet are usually positive. You're paying attention because you like them. But trash streaming flips this idea on its head. People don't tune into a trash stream because they like the streamer they're watching. They're paying attention because they dislike them, and they want to see the creator hurt themselves in some way. These streamers will turn on the camera and follow the directions they get from their audience in exchange for monetary donations. The instructions are often self-destructive in some way, asking the creator to drink a bunch of alcohol, get into physical fights with other people, or physically hurt themselves in various ways. You can see examples of this kind of stream elsewhere in the world as well, like Only Use Me Blade in the USA, and also Daniel Magical in Poland. But nowhere else is trash streaming quite as popular as in the Russian-speaking world. These streamers will be making a lot of money by regularly performing self-destructive acts for the enjoyment of strangers. It's a very dystopian concept. Stanislav Reshetnyak, also known as Stas Replay on the internet, was one of these streamers. He rose to prominence in 2020 for his particularly cruel brand of trash streaming, which mostly involved the horrible things he would do to his partner, Valentina Grigorieva, also known as Valia on the internet. I can't really get into specifics on YouTube, but a normal replay stream would follow this pattern. Him and Valia and whoever else happened to be in the room with them would all start by getting intoxicated. Things would be driven forward by the donations Stas would receive, which would usually contain instructions on what he should do next, sometimes telling him to do something to Valia or himself. Again, I can't get into detail here, but the things Stas would do in these streams would absolutely be enough to constitute a criminal case against him. But that wouldn't happen until December 2nd, 2020, when things went way too far. On that night, Stas, Valia, and a few friends were streaming from a rented house in Ivanovka, the village outside Moscow. Alcohol was generously being passed around the already intoxicated group. The donations were rolling in as they always were. But then, something unusual happened. Stas received an oddly large donation, one worth $1,000 US.
He looked like the evil villain cuss from Spider-Man. Am I tripping right now? No.
The equivalent of an average monthly wage.
The Green Goblin?
The instructions in this donation were particularly sinister, but Stas carried it out anyways. It
What
asked
the
him
Green
to
Goblin?
take off Valia's outer layer of clothing.
Spider-Man 1 or 2 was like a long ass time
on
ago.
the balcony in the sub-zero winter night. As Stas began to act this out, Valia ran to the kitchen and grabbed a knife to defend herself. The pair scuffled for a bit, but Stas eventually got his way and locked his partner outside on the balcony, wearing nothing but underwear. The disturbing thing is, while this was going down, Valia's friends were just sitting around watching it all happen. As she banged on the door begging to be let back in, her friends didn't intervene at all, and in fact they would eventually just leave, while Valia was still pleading to be let back in the house. The banging would eventually stop though, and some hours later, Stas would open the door of the balcony only to find Valia laying on the ground, unresponsive. He brings her inside, and it takes him a few minutes to come to terms with what just happened. He attempts to revive her, but nothing he does seems to have any effect. The police would be called and paramedics would rush to the house, but it was too late. Valentina was pronounced dead on the scene.
Imagine being able to build anything, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
All initial reports chalked up Valia's death to hypothermia, A forensic examination would reveal that she actually died of craniocerebral trauma, likely from a blow to the head she received from Stas in the midst of their struggle. The same examination would find bruises and physical trauma all over her body, meaning she was already in a horrible state when her boyfriend dragged her outside. Stanislav would be arrested at the scene. She didn't express regret, even denying any wrongdoing, but bizarrely claiming that Shalia had died of a
So I
stroke.
be telling y'all, bro, stay away from the alcoholics, bro. They should never be like, I don't, was she on alcohol too? I don't even remember. But, bro, them alcoholics is not good people, man. I'm telling y'all that right now. They will have setbacks and all that. They don't know when to not do it. My thing is this. If you fucking with somebody and they don't know how to stay sober for not even like 10 months, like a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think a lot of NBA players really drink that much. I don't really know how to really explain it to you, but yeah, like, these bitches don't drink on occasions, bro. They drink every fucking day. They drink every time they go outside. I honestly think they have something mental going on. That's what I started to do. So, you know, you gotta lead them motherfuckers alone. That's what I actually started to do when I figured it out, cause I can't. Yeah, you listen, y'all. You don't never want to get no drunk text from no drunk call or text from nobody. I feel like that's mad at unattractive, bro. And then us nowadays, us niggas like overthinking this shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you get a text late at night, your girl tell you she love you, bro, you gonna think she did some shit. I'm not even gonna lie. Everybody knows this is real ball knowledge, by the way, bro. And that's why I feel like that is dangerous. Because at the end of the day, too, you gotta think about some shit like this as well. People get drunk and they fuck people. And sometimes it could be anybody. It could be the ugliest person on earth, bro. And alcohol will make them look like this magical fucking person, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I really tell y'all, like, yeah, stay away from alcohol and stay away from alcohol. That shit's really dangerous. I don't think y'all really should be doing. I mean, if you drunk, I can't tell you what to do, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to drink, only drink on occasions, you know what I'm saying? But it's people that really do this shit every fucking weekend. I find that shit so unattractive. I even find it unattractive when girls smoke all the fucking time. Like, yeah, they lips be black as shit and all that. They be mad as fuck y'all want them. I remember this one joint was sit there and unfollow me, talking about something not her type. She looked smoked out as shit. Like, bitch, I wasn't gonna fuck with you anyway. And I was like, hold up. I'm like, what you mean I'm not your type? What's your type? That's what I said. And I guess she said not you or don't worry about it, something like that. But bro, she was looking really smoked out. Like, bitch, I don't think your type is even gonna want you. You're really fucking ugly. Yo, I don't even think I said that to this bitch, bro. But I was mad as shit when she unfollowed me. Like, bitch, you unfollowing people and you look ugly as shit. The audacity, bro. Like you belong on Kensington somewhere and you unfollowing niggas. You unfollowing niggas and you look like you woke up 24/7. You look like you just woke up 24/7, bro. Like you ain't brushed your teeth or nothing. You just woke up and you got crust all over your mouth. That's how you look. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all all know that look too of people that smoke, bro. Like they always look like they just woke up. It's just they don't have no crust around their mouth. That should be funny as fuck, bro.
Outside.
I be trying to tell them same motherfuckers to quit, man. Like y'all really do.
That wouldn't matter though, as he would be found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and given a measly 6 years in prison, which seems wildly little to me. He's currently out of jail and somehow is still regularly uploading to YouTube to this day. The death of Valentina Grigorieva is definitely one of the more depressing topics I've covered on this channel. Everything surrounding this case is just covered in gloom and darkness, which isn't atypical of a country like Russia, which is famous for its pessimism.
Yo, turn this off.
Our next topic explores this concept of Russian sadness, but in a different way. The following video was uploaded in September 2021. The title describes the broadcast hijacking of a local Russian news channel, which apparently aired something called Kingdom of Heaven. The video starts with some backstory to the incident. The uploader says that they discovered an archival recording of a Kingdom of Heaven segment from their hometown in the early 90s, which was previously considered lost. Although the segment had aired before they were born, it still seemed oddly familiar to them. They decide to show it to their parents, who said that they might have a recording of the original segment on a VHS tape somewhere in the basement. The OP grabs the tapes from their house and gives them to a friend to digitize. And lo and behold, the Kingdom of Heaven segment was on one of them. According to the OP's parents, the recording would have been made sometime between 2003 and 2006. This is what it showed.
Nah, man, why that shit remind me of a goddamn sleep paralysis, John, bro? Like, yo, y'all ever had sleep paralysis and you start hearing ringing and shit? That's what this sound like. Whole bunch of static.
Okay, great. Wait,
Y'all know what I've
you
started to
haven't
think, though?
listened? You haven't taken a single note?
At this point, I really started to think we dead ass probably live in a simulation, because there should be no reason why I'm asleep, right? Anytime you get sleep paralysis, you hear ringing, and then all you see is static and your eyes is closed, bro. That should not even be possible. Like, everything just turned to static. It just, like, I know TV static, like how it looked when, I don't even think TVs really do that anymore. The old ones did definitely, but I don't even think these regular flat screen ones do that anymore. But the old TVs, I think we dead ass live in like a simulation at this point. Because I just peep that shouldn't be happening. We have brains, bro. We are not like objects. We're not, electronics and shit. Why the fuck do we see static during things like that? Like, that shouldn't even be. On February 15th, 1994, our beloved daughter Veronica left us. She was just over a year old. Tragedy struck our family in the evening when Veronica disappeared from the apartment under unclear circumstances. How the fuck that happened? We remember, we love, we grieve. What the fuck are we watching? On February 15, 1994, at the age of 22, what the fuck? Okay. Okay, let's sound it out. And we gotta take it back to kindergarten, bro. Svetlana passed away. Her loved ones, especially her husband, still cannot believe her death. That was totally unnecessary for me to read it like that. I'm not even gonna lie. But this is Russian though, so it's like these is Russian names, I'm guessing. So the next day, the police found an open car abandoned on the road near the forest. Inside, Svetlana's documents and blood were found. At this point, Svetlana is considered to be the result of a robbery gone wrong. Her body has never been found. I don't think that's a robbery. I think that's a homicide, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Yeah, I don't think robberies go like that. So Rolando, whenever you are, wherever you are now, we will definitely meet again. Gina or Jenna, Genna. I'm done. That shit, that even, bro. What the fuck?
As you can see, this broadcast hijacking appears to show us some eerie televised obituaries, the first one being for an infant named Vera. There's a number of hidden and bizarre things about this clip. After the screen of text describing Vera's death, some static begins to fade in, and some picture of a man wearing a medical mask appears to just barely peek through the noise. And on top of that, just for a brief moment, we get another screen of text that we can just barely make out. This one reads,
"After several days of searching, Vera was found when neighbors began complaining about a strong odor coming from a clogged garbage chute. Her body was discovered among the layers of moldy garbage."
We get more of that incomprehensible staticky mess. And again, another hidden screen of text that just barely comes through over the noise.
"The cause of death was determined to be blood loss due to laryngeal hemorrhage. Small fragments of crystal glassware and remains of semolina porridge were found in the stomach."
Hey, is your Mac secretly underperforming? Mine totally was. I used Clean My Mac's health check to figure it out. Super quick, take a look.
Clean My Mac
Semolina porridge is a popular baby food in Russia. And also, obituaries don't usually go into such detail as to how a person died. In the second obituary, it almost seems like a piece of text is missing. And that's because part of the story is almost unreadable due to wild tracking and noise. This one reads,
"On the evening of the unfortunate day, upon her husband's return home, Svetlana took the car and left in an unknown direction. Soon after, her husband discovered that their daughter, money, and his wife's documents were all missing."
After this, we get a kind testimonial, presumably from the husband, saying that they'll meet again in heaven. But instead of the "we remember, we love, we grieve" post-text like we get in the first obit, this one instead eerily says,
"I hope you die, bitch."
After this, the local news seems to fade back in, and that's when the tape ends. According to the OP, his parents had originally planned to record a news segment filmed at his school that he might have appeared in. His parents thought that the hijacking was probably just some sort of malfunction, either with the TV or the news station. OP back then, merely just a child, was slightly frightened by the hijacking, but luckily didn't read the inscriptions too closely, and his parents didn't let him watch the recording after. According to the OP, no information about this hijacking can be found anywhere. Not on the internet, and not in any sort of local news archives. He ends the video by asking if anyone has any more information. This video is completely earnestly presented. Nowhere does the uploader give any sort of indication that what we're watching is a work of fiction. And, in fact, these Kingdom of Heaven obituaries were supposedly a real thing in Russia in the 90s. As much as it might look like analog horror, these obituaries would apparently sometimes air between TV shows in early post-Soviet Union Russia. The one you're watching right now is supposedly real, and the text here is much more normal for an obituary and isn't describing the violent circumstances of someone's
1922 to 1993.
death. This is just so eerie and ominous. The cheaply recorded orchestra, the monotone palette, the way the music cuts off abruptly and the bells play, I honestly can't believe that what we're watching isn't someone's analog horror project. Most of these Kingdom of Heaven
maybe that's where they got the idea from. They're not thinking like this, especially horror movies. Like a strong part of horror movies have like it takes some stuff from real life and it turns them into like a little, you know what I'm saying?
Considered lost media. According to a Russian page on the Lost Media Wiki, there were supposedly up to 150 segments made in total between 1991 and 1994. What's interesting here is that while we have many recordings of these supposed obituaries, none of them have ever actually been confirmed to be real, and many of them have actually been proven to be fabricated. And the fact that the first mention of this even existing being in an
That's
image board
Russian?
poster.
What the fuck? I can't even read that.
2017 is also pretty suspicious. While some commenters say that either them or their parents do remember televised obituaries appearing on Russian TV in the 90s, nobody seems to have any proof of this, and the network that supposedly aired these segments has denied their existence as well. And by the way, that supposedly real segment...
Yo, y'all gotta think about how hard it is to type any of this shit out. Like, yo, like, I know that it's easy to type English and all that, but this gotta be hard to type out. It's no fucking way. Like, yo, just look at our keyboards now, gang. Like, you got A, B, C, D, all that. But this looks almost like upside down letters. God damn.
we just watched, a Russian YouTuber recently confirmed that it was fabricated, which kind of leads me to believe that everything here is fake, even though it's listed on Wikipedia. I will say though that if these are all actually fake, they are still incredibly well done. These videos actually look like they were legitimately recorded on tape. This is really a step above the average VHS effects you typically see in analog horror. And apparently, like every other Russian horror thing we cover, Kingdom of Heaven also became a meme format that people have already turned into shitposts. I'm still curious though. If you're Russian, do you think that there's any chance of something like this legitimately existing? Let me know in the comments. Alright, we're gonna move on from a probably fake creepy classic TV thing to something very real. Picture this. You've just gotten home from a hard day at the office. There's only one thing you're looking forward to. Sitting down to watch television while eating a fine TV dinner. One problem, you forgot to feed the cat. And now, he's taken matters into his own hands. There's a reason why you shouldn't leave a fat cat alone with lasagna. Just like there's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, Morgan & Morgan has been doing one thing and one thing. And over $30 billion for your client. Hey, not all law firms are the same. Hire the wrong one, and you may be old home video logo bumpers. Like those short little 2-second clips with the production company's logo you'll see before your DVD or VHS gets to the main feature. There are communities completely centered around compiling, telling the history, and even remixing these old home video logo bumpers. Some of these videos have millions of views. One common aspect you'll notice in the logos community is the idea that some of these logos are scary. Which I guess I don't really understand personally. I'm guessing it has something to do with childhood memories of being freaked out by them, but regardless, horror seems to play a fairly big part in this strange niche. And a lot of these logo remixes seem to revolve around making a logo bumper scarier. There is one logo though that I do find pretty uncanny. And of course it's Russian.
That's just the way you make me.
Hey, bro.
Get that big deal feeling this
Go ahead,
Prime
man.
Day, June 23rd through the 26th.
To get started in data analytics, you don't need previous experience or a degree. The Google Data Analytics Certificate.
Yeah, if I saw this as a kid, it would definitely freak me out. The statue head looks like something you would either find in some ancient Chinese tomb or some horror claymation movie. The music also seems really out of place for a logo bumper like this. It sounds more like the sort of thing you would hear before a battle starts in a turn-based RPG game. The logo is for a Russian television company called Vid, which has been around since 1987. The logo, being as striking as it is, must have been a major success for the company because no matter what article about Vid I read, there was always a lengthy section just about the logo bumper. The logo was created by Andrei Raspash, and he based the face off of a ceramic sculpture of Chinese philosopher Guo Xiang that featured a 3-legged toad on top of his head. This sculpture is owned by the Museum of Oriental Art in Moscow, and apparently they tried to sue the production company over their usage of the sculpture, so Andre and his team had to digitally alter the features of the statue to make it look different enough from the original sculpture, which I suppose had a hand in making it look as uncanny as it does. The logo was basically immediately seen as frightening and off-putting. The company quickly began receiving many complaints from the parents of scared children, so over the years they've had to continually alter the logo to make it look less creepy. Of course, this logo is a pretty big Russian meme nowadays. You can find countless parodies and remixes on YouTube, and interestingly enough, it seems to have found its way into the Western logo community as well, with many prominent logo YouTubers making videos about it, which I guess might lead one to think that the logo community is not only based around nostalgia. TV hijackings and strange things found on television are both fairly common motifs in Russian internet horror. They are somewhat prevalent trends here in the West as well, but I've noticed these TV-centric themes are particularly popular in the Russian-speaking world, and that was all due to this next topic. The following video was uploaded on August 5th, 2008. The title is in Russian. When translated into English, it reads, SGU TV, July 4th, 2008, effed up.
The fuck y'all got me watching? What the fuck do I have myself watching? Oh, fuck.
This video seemingly shows us a network hijacking. The network supposedly depicted in this video is SGU TV, a Russian educational channel not unlike PBS in the States. The hijacking begins with a text, "Do not be afraid," followed by a drawing of a rabbit, and then a geometry diagram showing a right-angled triangle. We then get another screen of text, this time with a list of instructions. 1. Don't try to change anything. 2. Think only about him. 3. Hands. 4. Inspection. This video tells us that these instructions will help you to accept as truth, whatever that means. After this, the video writes that people who watch this will go crazy, followed by the word legless. After this frame, we get our final screen of text, which repeats twice. This one, strangely enough, asks the viewer, "Did it work?" and then tells us that the sound in the video contains a V105 U2 PWM imprint. PWM stands for pulse width modulation, which is a common method of modifying the timbre of a square oscillator in a synthesizer, and I'm guessing it's referring to the one synthesized note that plays throughout this video, which does appear to have some sort of modulation being applied to it. I'm not too sure what the V105 U2 means in this case though, and looking it up on Google only pointed back to this video. After this text, the video tells us that there's nothing evil here. It's just a little scary. But after watching, you will supposedly feel joy and everything in your future will turn out fine. Signed, your friend. A test pattern shows up in the video, which as far as I can tell, appears to be a fairly standard Russian test card. The closest match I could find is this test pattern originating from Leningrad in 1988, although it's not an exact match. This video will go on to accumulate over 600,000 views, with the peak of its popularity occurring in the early 2010s. While commenters may have been split on whether or not the video was scary, it would still, for whatever reason, turn into a huge meme. Countless people would make their own versions or parodies of this video over the years. While the title of the original clip may have merely stated the network and time of the supposed hijacking, the meme would go on to be known by a line of text in the video. Beznogin, or in English, legless.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44. This is a first look at the current industry-leading...
Some of these alternate versions of this video are pretty funny. I like this one called Retro
Hey, bro, we
Legless,
don't give a
which
fuck
just
what you
shows
like,
us the
man.
entire
Like,
video, but with the Windows
dog,
Movie
I'm
Maker
trying to
seat
record a scary
lies
video.
somewhere. What's interesting about this meme is the sheer staying power. People are still making new versions of this video to this day, and all this for the last 17 years has been based off of this relatively mundane original video. Maybe there's more to this that I'm not getting as a naive Westerner. Let's investigate the original video a little closer. I decided to start with finding the source for the rabbit picture. My first thought here is that this image has been inverted, and sure enough, it looks a lot more natural when inverted back. Doing a quick image back search revealed that this picture is actually from a children's coloring book. Combining that with the right angle triangle that was probably taken from a math book explaining the Pythagoras theorem, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this video was probably made by a middle schooler. According to Neolurk, a site documenting Russian memes, the idea behind this video probably originated as some sort of creepypasta a year earlier on a Russian image board similar to 4chan, meaning that this video followed a similar creation process to Station 922. Neolurk also archived some of the original Legless memes and rage comics from back in the day, which I must say are pretty cool. It's pretty impressive to see such a long-running trend in the world of internet horror, much like this next topic. The following video was uploaded on January 29th, 2009. We're going to watch it in full before talking about it.
Yo, these better not be no cursed ass videos, man. I'm not playing with y'all, man. Y'all fuck around and have me watching some shit like the fucking Ring, bro. Listen, bro. I thought I was hearing something. What the fuck? Hey, bro.
This clip presents itself as a PSA, but not a public service announcement, rather a phantom signal alert. Some obscured white face then
I
began...
know y'all ass not showing this to no damn kids, man.
...coherently while occasionally being interrupted by static and what could be distorted screaming. Several pieces of disturbing text pop up in the video. The first strikingly reading, "We're roasting an electric video fire." The text on the rest of the video appears to be written from the viewpoint of a dead child, being that it at one point asks, "If there are any more dead kids out there, then show yourselves." With the video closing out with, "Meet us in the video world." The title of this video is, "Many kids have died over these years," and this clip would swiftly spread around the Russian internet after being uploaded. A creepypasta would be written about it, stating that people who view this video in its entirety may hallucinate horrible things, and that it's even potentially caused the deaths of 23 people in total. The creepypasta also tells the story of how some of these deaths happened in Ukraine, which kind of follows the same story format that all cursed media creepypastas follow, so I'm not going to get into it here. The channel that uploaded this video is called Dead Kids Foundation, and while this clip may be their most infamous, it's certainly not their only upload. Their first video was put up all the way back in 2007, and it follows a similar format to the one we just watched. Although the text here reads, "You're not welcome to play in the video world anymore." Their second video, uploaded only 2 days after their first, has a link in its description that explains what's going on here. This site isn't live anymore, but it was luckily archived all the way back in 2007 on the Wayback Machine. This is a page presumably created by the Dead Kids...
I'm not close one up. Bruh. That shit might be still open a little bit, but oh well.
Foundation, which openly states, "It's a game, an ARG." But they go on to say that they're looking to find the video and the story behind it. To find out what that means, we need to return to the channel's first video, which is called 333-333-333. This is in fact a reference to the Wyoming Incident ARG, which was one of the first internet horror ARGs ever. The Wyoming Incident told a tale about a video that was shown during a TV hijacking that apparently drove viewers to madness. Dead Kids Foundation appears to be some sort of attempt at gamejacking this ARG, or at least trying to stoke more interest in it. The thing is though, as the Dead Kids Foundation videos became popular in the Russian internet, they kept the channel going independent of the Wyoming Incident. They took down the site explaining that the project was an ARG and began infrequently uploading new videos expanding the lore of the Dead Kids Foundation, with the last video being uploaded only 2 years ago, which actually makes this one of the longest running internet horror projects ever. Coincidentally, it's probably only beat by the Wyoming incident itself. You could argue that the Dead Kids Foundation was one of the first pieces of analog horror, a genre which is now oversaturated and arguably dying. If you've been yearning to see an interesting new take on this stale niche, then pay close attention to our last topic for today.
I got one challenge for you. Try Whisperflow once. One time. And I promise you'll understand why I haven't typed a full sentence in 6.
One aspect of Russia that always seems to intrigue us outsiders is the general secretiveness that seems to surround the country. Whenever a government keeps secrets in a public manner, like Area 51 for example, it always becomes a focal point for the public's curiosity. People never stop speculating what horrible or incredible things the establishment may or may not be hiding in these secret areas that are off limits to all but a select few people. And no country has off-limit areas quite like Russia. As of 2007, Russia has publicly acknowledged the existence of 44 closed cities. These are entire towns and metro areas that are off-limits to either foreigners or even Russians in some cases. Many of these places are even completely absent from official maps. It's believed that not only is the true number of sealed-off areas in Russia substantially greater than the 44 the government publicly recognized, but that the number of closed cities could have been up to 20 times higher during the Soviet Union. Most of these closed cities usually have something to do with Russia's nuclear or space programs, military, or seaports. At least that's all that's been said publicly. Just like Area 51, people love to speculate just what the Russian government may or may not be hiding in these sealed-off regions, and also what closed areas might exist out in the great expanses of the deep country that we might not even know about. Much in that vein, the following video will be uploaded to YouTube on October 19th, 2021. This clip was supposedly made by Emercom, Russia's Ministry of Emergency Situations. It's a PSA intended for the inhabitants of Magnitoshakhtinsk Oblast, a region of Russia that you won't find on any map. The voice in the video reminds viewers to be mindful of the dangers associated with the spring melt, like floods, forest fires, and attacks from the Opletai as they emerge from their winter layers. The PSA suggests avoiding the forest during this time of year to avoid encounters with these creatures, which are depicted on this side as some sort of humanoid being with long, wavy limbs. In South Siberian folklore, an Opletai is a sort of monster that resembles a human being split down the middle, with this one leg and one arm being extremely long and flexible.
I was actually touching it.
Supposedly, these creatures wait for travelers in the forest and then jump on their backs and entwine their victims in their long, twisting limbs, choking them out much like a snake would and then feeding on their blood. Being that these creatures only have one arm and one leg, they're quite slow and clumsy on their own. But in some cases, two Opletai can attach to one another to form a much more formidable predator, which is so fast it can supposedly outrun a horse. In the unfortunate case of being attacked by one of these creatures, the PSA advises you what to do. The most important thing is to try your best to stay upright, as the Opletai usually try to knock their victims to the ground. If you do manage to stay standing, you should then try to grab the creature by the neck and squeeze as hard as you can, as this is its weak point. Doing this might shock the creature into letting you go, at which point you should run immediately. When running, you should try your best to pass by trees as closely as possible, as the Opletai will likely get their long, clumsy limbs stuck on them while chasing you. The PSA closes by asking the viewer to report any Opletai sightings to Emercom immediately. The channel that uploaded this clip is simply called Magnitoshakhtinsk Oblast, and it apparently collects and uploads PSAs from the secret region of Russia. The second video on their channel, however, is not a PSA. It's apparently an internal training video for new recruits of Emercom, specifically the ones entering the anti-Akratid unit. The training begins with the viewer being asked to pay attention to the following clip. The narrator then tells us that this was a possession test, and that some people who view this clip will have a strong reaction to it. It starts with mild confusion, which eventually grows into outright delirium, followed by spasms, and then finally, loss of consciousness. If you didn't react, however, congratulations. You are mentally fit enough to serve in the anti-Akratid unit. You'll be part of a protective police service that will help prevent and/or mitigate encounters between Akratids and people. The Akratids can be separated into two groups. The Pragnats, which are beings that pose some sort of physical danger to people, which would appear to include the Oplotai based on this illustration, and also Keffals, non-physical entities that can either possess or infect their victims. The video also mentions that the anti-Akratid unit was recently put together as a result of a new declaration made by Emercom in 1992, which gives us an idea of when this footage was supposedly made. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yes, this is obviously just an analog horror series. It's got every trademark. The simplistic bathroom sign art style, the mid-century nuclear war style PSAs warning people of bizarre, otherworldly dangers, which are always pretty effective due to the contrast of the mundane bureaucratic style these clips have with the esoteric
I'm
threats
starting
you
to think
described.
that
I
Russian shit
personally
is
feel
evil.
like analog horror is going to be a little oversaturated and definitely doesn't hit as hard as it did 5 years ago, but I still like this series a lot. I love the concept of taking some creepy folklore story and modernizing it into a more relatable and effective format. Magnetoshocking Skoblast has many other videos I'm not going to spoil for you. I'm just going to tell you about my favorite one. This clip is called Zheldyai, which happens to also be the name of the creature it's describing.
Oh yeah. I'm okay now.
Жители поселков Магнитошахтинской области часто жалуются.
This one is another PSA, and it opens by telling us a common complaint voiced by residents of various villages in the region. In the winter, people often hear strange sounds seemingly coming from the roofs of their houses at night. This is supposedly due to the Zheldyai, an incredibly tall humanoid creature that kinda looks like Slenderman if you stretched him out a lot. The Zheldyai apparently stand next to people's houses during the winter nights to warm their hands by the chimney. The Zheldyai, in most cases, is apparently a benign creature. They're only there to warm themselves up a little during the harsh Siberian winter. But with that being said, if you do find one of these beings next to your house, you should remain indoors, because the Zheldyai will attack you if it gets scared, usually by whacking you on the head with one of its pole-like arms. Now this PSA was supposedly made in 1993, but in 1994, Emercom would update their guidelines revolving around the Zheldyai, and would also make a new PSA. While these creatures were initially thought to be a relatively low-risk Pragnat, meaning a creature that poses a physical risk, they have now been reclassified as a higher-risk Keffal, a non-physical threat. Now, when you hear the sounds on your roof, you must try your best to maintain conscious awareness of your surroundings. If you feel a headache or nausea, then keep trying to maintain a mindful focus and don't let your thoughts drift. Make sure your windows are all shut tight and your blinds are drawn. Don't look outside. After you've ensured all your windows and openings are covered, call up Emercom and alert them of the situation. Whatever you do, don't go outside, even if the person on the phone asks you to. And lastly, don't believe anything the voices tell you. I think this is analog horror at its best. Having that first PSA set the expectation that these creatures are mostly harmless, and then following it up with that classic vague list of instructions to avoid some unknowable existential threat is incredibly effective. This is the thing that everyone tries to achieve with analog horror. And man, did a lot of people try to copy this series. Magnetoshocking Skoblast is probably the most popular piece of Russian horror I've covered. They currently have more than 200,000 subscribers and multiple videos with over 1 million views, with that last video we just covered having 3 million. With such a successful series having its fan base relegated to the limited amount of people that speak the language, it naturally resulted in a ton of copycat videos. It's pretty amazing just how many people have tried to expand the lore of Magnetoshocking Skoblast, but it also makes sense. The art style is very simple and easy to replicate. It's not exactly difficult to put together your own Magnetoshocking.
That shit is fucking corny, bro.
Remember that short clip I showed you at the very end of my first Russian Horrors video? That was in fact a video from a Magnetoshocking Skoblast copycat channel, and it had over 1 million views. I don't
Probably
even
because
think
they
you
found a
can
way to make it 3D, bro.
really even call these copycats anymore.
So these all fake
If
videos,
anything,
bro.
I think Maldito Shopping Skullblast is almost growing into its own shared internet mythos, just like the SCP Foundation or the Backrooms. But the channel that started it all is more or less inactive. Their last upload is from August 2024, which is apparently just a slightly modified version of the deleted episode from a couple years prior. In a long comment written on a popular English language video about the series, the creator behind Maldito Shopping Skullblast would comment that their first few videos were more or less just a test of their video editing abilities, and that they kept the series going when it became popular, but eventually began to get bored with it and didn't want to keep the channel going if the quality was declining, which is definitely a sentiment I think most people can appreciate. By the way, the video that this comment was left on was made by horror YouTuber Mulder, and it's definitely the most comprehensive English language video about this series that currently exists. It was invaluable in the production of my video for its translations, and if you want to dive deeper into Maldito Shopping Skullblast, I highly suggest checking it out. Guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of this compilation. If you enjoyed the video and you're not subscribed, consider changing that. You'll be telling YouTube to show you more creepy videos like this one, and not just by me either. You can also follow me on Twitter.
Nah, it might be the last time I react to your ass, bro. You did a lot of bullshit in this video. I'm not even
Honestly,
going to
have a good night.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That's the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I don't even think I really enjoyed. I started doing a whole bunch of shit during the video because this man, bro, like, I don't know what it is, bro. But videos like this, bro, it actually makes me bored. Like, let's say 10 times faster, bro. Like, I wasn't even entertained by this video, bro. Like, seriously. And that's actually becoming a problem with all my YouTube videos. I'm starting to actually not be, like, I'm starting to get less and less entertained react to some stuff. Maybe I need to buy more gaming equipment so I can play some games for y'all. But, yeah, other than that, that's all I had to say. Y'all be safe out there. This was Horrors on Russian Internet. We out. We dip in. It's your boy Mo. Go show that man Pharrell McGuire some love too, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I think y'all like his videos. It's just I don't like the videos because it's hard to entertain me anyway. So it's like, fuck it. We out though, man.